What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? All right, let's get right to it, man. Not in the proper angle of the studio right now, but I just want to be able to go over the three players that the Cowboys pretty much update, basically off the rip. The three players, DeMarcus Lawrence, we're going to talk about that, Amari Cooper, and as well as Michael Gallup. According to sources, DeMarcus Lawrence going nowhere. Basically, they're trying to figure everything out, and they looked at it and said instead of trying to look around and find a guy on the edge as relates to the draft or as relates to free agency, let's stick with what we got. Let's stick with what we have in our own, and that is DeMarcus Lawrence. And they're gonna roll with DeMarcus Lawrence, far as the sources says, and also. With that source from Ed Water, by the way, that's one of his inside sources from the NFL that talks to the Cowboys, said that they are still working on Amari Cooper options. They are still working on Amari Cooper option. Let me repeat. They are still working on Amari Cooper option. Shout out to you, Jay Lombardi, as well as pretty much the language of the contract for Michael Gallup is all what we waiting on. They are pretty much finished with Michael Gallup long-term contract. If I'm a betting man, the things that were leaked out, according to sources, that it's at least $30 million guaranteed. That is Michael Gallup's contract. Whether it's north of that, that's the situation. Appreciate you. I hope all is well. Thank you for the donation. Have a blessed day, brother. This is from is that Thailand. Appreciate you. The honey one. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So here's the thing right here, Cowboy Nation, as we talk about this for at least 15 to 20 minutes. This team, regardless of what you see, regardless of what you see, and regardless of what's been leaked out, or regardless of what's going on, they got to get focused in. They do. And I believe there's two folds in this offseason. And you should always, people hit me up and say, Law, is this team rebuilding? You should always rebuild. You should always look into it and say, hey, I'm trying to build this thing up. You should always. Good morning to everyone. But you got to pick a side. Focus on one thing. Is it going to be on the defensive side? Is it going to be on the offensive side? But you should never get rid of one of your better players on offense and defense and expect good results. So I agree. If it's Amari Cooper that's gone, right? Don't let it be Amari Cooper and D-Law, right? If it's D-Law that's gone, figure out a way to keep Amari Cooper. But don't let both of them go. That's the reality of it. Shout out to you, Jay Versick. All ups, Law. Appreciate you. I hope front office be smart this off season. Appreciate you, Jay Versick. Appreciate both of y'all for the donation there. But that is the reality, Cowboy Nation. We shouldn't be looking at this thing saying, man, we're going to head into the 2022 season trying to figure things out. No. Appreciate you, Eric Mack. And here's the thing, Cowboys. Let's talk about DeMarcus Lawrence. Is DeMarcus Lawrence the guy that you can sit back and say, all right, man, we know the $100 million contract that you got. We really didn't get any positivity out of it. But, boy, we did get those 2 good years before you had that contract. The 14 sacks, right? And then he followed it up with a 10 sack. That's the D-Law that we thought we was going to get. Now, in between that time frame, yes, they had a different characters of defensive coordinators / Chris Richard, who was the coordinator, who wasn't, and it was Rob Mariner. He had a whole bunch of crazy stuff that went on, but those are excuses, right? We're looking for results. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. And you and your beautiful family, either y'all could be house shopping somewhere else, or you can take this cut a little bit and you can stay here and think about what Parsons bring to the table. Think about how this defense was going. You want to work with that? You want to work with Dan Quinn for another year, or you want to test it out somewhere else? And probably he weighed his options and said, you know what? Give me this doggone contract, man. You see, I'm going to take a little cut. Because you saw what Khalil Mack got, right? I think the team got a second-round draft pick in the 6th or something like that. Traded him. But there was no smears. There was no, hey, he's washed or what have you. Khalil Mack gone. He went to a whole nother team. Now, in retrospect, just looking back at everything, Chicago, LA, yeah, give me the LA, baby. Give me that good weather. But neither here nor there. Supposedly, sources said that DeMarcus Lawrence is here to stay. All right, so the other thing was Amari Cooper. They are working on options for Amari Cooper. Now, I'm the type of person that like to measure twice, cut once. Jump on their social media, see what they're doing, making sure that everything is copacetic. And he's posting like old clips of him back in his Bama days on his Instagram. He's going out to trips and stuff. And I think that Amari Cooper is far from being a docile type of person. I think that Amari Cooper is very well calculated, soft-spoken, but when he speaks with assertiveness, right? Authority. If you go back and watch some of the things that he released during the season, in the locker room, what have you, he's absolutely King Coop, right? And if anything, a person that gravitated towards Amari Cooper before the season kicked off or what have you was Parsons, right? It was Parsons. So if the Cowboys organization value total team and Amari Cooper value their thoughts too, then he would listen. But he would not listen from a checkers mentality, if you guys understand what I'm saying. He would absolutely listen from a chest mentality. No part-time players. I feel you, Jay Lombardi. Appreciate you for jumping in, by the way. Thank those who's watching. Here's another thing. Nate the Great says $20 million Cooper. And then you have the emoji rubbing his chin. Let me say this. With the $20 million, you cut him, you save $16 million, right? So that's a $4 million that you're willing to eat because you don't want to pay Amari Cooper. Let me say this. With the $16 million, who will be more valuable than Amari Cooper? Right? See, that is the complete picture. See, a lot of times people only look, it's crazy. A lot of times people look at something, they say it's too valuable, it's too expensive. Right? Bread is bread. You go down, let me use an analogy. You go down there in Walmart, right? There's a section called bread. Right? And they got different variations of bread. They got different brands of bread, right? Different types of bread, raisin bread, honey oat bread, wheat bread. They got all of it. But at the end of the day, it's the bread aisle. No aisle is different, right? It's considered the bread aisle. So what you're saying is that bread is bread, and I don't need Sara Lee. Give me the great value bread and I can still make a sandwich. Yes. But will it taste good? Huh? Amari Cooper. Yes, he is still the bread. And I'm going to tell you, if the Cowboys were wise and smart, they'd know that that's the bread and you got the butter already. You got to slap that thing on each other and it'll work. But if you considering to have a good sandwich and you thinking that, okay, I'm going to trade this loaf of bread and bring in the great value slices of bread and get the same results, not the same. Not his fault. He gets schemed to be the decoy. Jay Lombard. Look, God, dog, Jay. Jay Lombardi spitting the truth, man. Where my umbrella at, baby?
Oh, no.
Where my umbrella at, baby? It's not his fault, right? Less is more. Less is more at this point. Kellen Moore got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Oh, Dalton Schultz, who is the new target for the Cowboys, according to sources, as it relates to the number one piece that completes everything on his team, allegedly. Gallup coming back. And all he have to do is focus. Focus in on the guy that you know for sure they can cut you up like a Ginzu blade. Right? But the Cowboys, when they get into a game, and I'm not finna smear or sully or castrate Kellen Moore to the third degree. But what I'm trying to say is, dog it, bro. It's quarters, man. You run on that. Come on, man. Devise a plan to create more running opportunities, and it's not about offensive line. It's not about offensive line. I've seen plays where the Cowboys toss 6 yards, 5 yards. And you know what? That's going to be when I have a little time this weekend. Hopefully I do. Texas is finna shut down again due to the storm. I got a note from the agency and everyone else. Hey, don't come in today. Stay still. There's finna be a blizzard storm or what have you, whatever it is. But when I have enough time, I'm going to draw up all of the running plays and do the plus or minus. Was it the offensive line fault? Was it the running back fault? Or was it the offensive coordinator who abandoned the run? Because it looks like these guys were getting 6 yards off of that carry. Case in point, CeeDee Lamb averaged 7.2 yards per rush this season. Not saying that you got to run him like a dog and have his tongue hanging out, but at some point I'm trying to win the game. Jay Verse, should Dak feel bad for not throwing to him more? Hell yeah, Dak should feel bad. Dak should feel absolutely bad of looking into this thing saying, man, it's an embarrassment of riches. I got CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, and for the full stretch, I had Amari Cooper outside of the 2 games that he missed as far as the shot thing. And just to be fair with that, I think that it wouldn't have been 2 games if the NFL get out of this way and we don't play 3 games in 12 days. People don't equate that. People like to look at things from their point of views and say, well, come on, Lord, blah, 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 blah. But no team is like the Cowboys. And I'm not saying that they should look into this schedule and say the Cowboys shouldn't play 3 games in 12 days. Think about that. Let that sink in. The Cowboys every year play those back-to-back games. Don't give a time to have a breather, right? And I'm not painting a picture for bevies of excuses for this team. But at some point, people got to understand that this team is different from any other team because we got the marketing and the political pressure. We on 1st and 5 and 6 second takes, undisputed, and heavy is the crown. Moore is not his equal, right? I feel you. Appreciate you, Stephen White. Appreciate you for jumping in. All right, so the last news of the minute here. the Michael Gallup. The Michael Gallup. We all been banging on the table saying we love Gallup, right? We all want what's well with Gallup. And the sources, according to Ed Water, ESPN on, is pretty much done. And I know how the Cowboys operate and think, right? They're going to look at it and say, hey, we signed some guys in this free agency. And all I wanted the Cowboys to do is hear me out. Play a little hardball. That's all I wanted. It's to get your hands dirty just a little bit. Not talking about the dude. But wait and see, Let the market decide. Now, I know they jumping in front of this thing. They did it before with Barry Church. Shout out to them for that. They did it before again with Tyrone Church. Not Tyrone Church. Tyrone Crawford. I'm thinking about my other guy, Tyrone Church, just to follow the channel. But they did it before with Barry Church and Tyrone Crawford. Yep. Blake, yeah, everyone has an opinion. Yep, you're right. Exactly. Law Cooper only missed 2 games, not because he was injured. Yes. And one can argue it would have been probably 1, although he didn't show any symptoms, right? But that's a story of a different day. The world, and the political warfare is all going now. That C-19, I told people what can cure the C-19 was the playoffs. They just cured it. The NFL guidelines cured it all, right? It's not even, it's on the back of the back page of any article that you put out there now. It went from sneezing to God bless you to when you sneeze. When people said, F you, man, you sneeze again, dog. We finna throw these hands. Did you get a shot? Did you get a shot? And now when somebody sneezes, they keep walking like, oh man, it's not a target right now. Gas is the problem now. Let me stop talking. But with Michael Gallup, this team, it do establish a level of consistency, and he should be ready. I would say, if I'm a betting man, he probably start off on pulp. I would say if the Cowboys wise, he would not play until probably November, maybe mid-October-ish, November. That's when he'll play. But if they rush him, and we see some news like, let me see. News at the top of the hour. Cowboys wide receiver number 13, and he's mean, Michael Gallup. He will be starting for the first opening of the game. He will be starting. He missed all of OTAs and training camp, but news is the Cowboys are really high and hoping that he will be able to make some necessary plays out there. We'll have more news at 5. That type of situation very much so can be because we used to it, right? Cowboy Nation, we used to it. Roland says, I heard Antonio Brown want to play for us. First and foremost, if you look back at the video, what Ryan Clark, he came in with an agenda. I was going to do a piece on that, but I heard everybody talking about it. Everybody do the same thing over here, right? Everybody talk about the same thing. But when I heard it, Ryan Clark pitched, what about Dak Prescott? Right? What about Dak Prescott? Would you like to play for Dak Prescott? It wasn't his thought originally. And Ryan Clark calculated that he knows, he's very calculated. He's a very smart guy. He knows that if you mention Cowboys, it would stir the pot. It would get everybody's ears watching his beautiful platform and his podcast, which I don't blame him. It's a hustle move. Have you considered the Cowboys, Dak Prescott? And then he went to go on and on and on. He could have said, have you considered Justin Herbert? Have you considered playing under Joe Burrow? but he said Dak Prescott. He called him out by name, right? And of course, the conversation in the mind and the thought track of Antonio Brown is going to be, yeah, Cowboys, yeah. Go back and watch the interview, right? Just like the devil. Have you considered this or consider that? You know, just like the devil, boy. Shoo. AB30, appreciate you. Our AB is garbage. Yeah, well, I feel you. Robert, appreciate you for jumping in. All right, it's been the 20-minute marker. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and being part of this conversation that rules the nation, Cowboy Nation. We already have an AB, I feel y'all. But the Cowboys would be okay. Now, as far as Antonio Brown, I looked at some of his all 22, by the way, already. And the dude is nice on his routes, just nasty with it, even with a bum ankle. And he was cutting pretty good. It's just the fact that the organization and team cut him out of a few plays, and he was mad about targets. One thing that you don't want on this team is a person that want his targets. And the thing is, with targets, you're not going to get it in this brand or style of offense because this is a system offense. This is not a targeting offense. This is a, hey, I'm going to drop back. We're going to use you as a decoy, number one, but we're going to hit the Cedric Wilsons of the world. So we're going to hit now, since Cedric Wilson is on the market and he may not come back, we're going to hit Simi Fehoko. Oh, we're going to specialize in hitting up Noah Brown, right? So that is the situation for this particular offense. You guys got about a year and a half, and before some of y'all start turning on CeeDee Lamb. A third of you guys already. CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball too much. You know, I hear that every time I go live. CeeDee Lamb underrated. Is already forming. So CeeDee Lamb going to have to step it up for the 2022 season. If not, you guys were clearly going to turn on CeeDee Lamb. Y'all going to say he was a disgrace of a draft pick. It wasn't worth it. We should have went with defense. You guys going to be saying that. If CeeDee Lamb don't show up this year, there will be a lot of people saying that, hey, man, he drops the ball too much and he ain't no Justin Jefferson, right? That I can see it already. I can see it already. Y'all need to stop it because it's shame.
Shame.
CeeDee, he ain't a T. Higgins. You know, he ain't. I'm like, leave CeeDee alone. He's playing under Kellen Moore system, right? You know, come on. And I know somebody gonna say, well, he got Dak Prescott throwing him the ball. That's why, Law. That's you know, that's how it is. Y'all leave Lamb alone. Lamb is a real one. He ain't a number one, Law. Leave him alone. Leave him alone in his system. I guarantee you, if Lamb played under the 49ers system, they'd figure it out. Just like Debo. The Joker had 12 drops, right? But they said, you know what? We're going to utilize you to your strength. We know you like to play volleyball with the football, but you don't hear 49ers whiners, you know, whining and complaining about him dropping the ball and his 4 fumbles because they know they're going to try to give the playmaker the ball. Or Lamb and McVay system. Yeah, it'd be nice. If the Cowboys had Debo, he wouldn't have had 10 touches in the backfield for I think it was like 80 yards against us. No. He would have only had those 3 catches, right? Shoot. We shut him down on the receiving side, but we couldn't stop him on the running side. I just told you, CeeDee Lamb average 7.5 per toe. But he's too small, Law. Boy, sugar. You try to win the game. I'll run that man till his tongue fall out. Did you win? Yeah. We up out of here, baby. One love. And you are listening to nothing but The Bears. Yep.